नमामि शंकराचार्य गुरुपाद सरोरुहं यस्य प्रसादान् मूढोऽपि सर्वज्ञोऽहं सदा भवं कामाक्षी करुणारूपं कामकोटि जगद्गुरुं चिन्मूर्तिं कलये चित्ते शंकराचार्यमप्यजम् भक्ताग्र्यगिरिसम्भूता शंकरार्णवगामिनी पुनातु भुवनं पुण्या श्रीगुरोश्चरितापगा वेद वेदांत साम्राज्य धर्म कामार्थ मोक्षदं विद्यारण्यं नमः पुण्यं यो विद्यारण्यमच्छिनत् सदाशिवश्री ब्रह्मेन्द्र धृतस्वपद पादुकान् धीरान् परशुमेन्द्रार्यान् ध्यायामि सततं हृदि अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानतं शान्तरूपिणं श्री चन्द्रशेखर गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वः देवे देहे च देशे च भक्त्यारोग्य सुखप्रदम् उथ पामर सेव्यन्तं श्री जयेन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् नमामि शंकरान्वाख्य विजयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्री गुरुं शिष्टमार्गानुनेतारं सन्मतिप्रदम् सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम्. This auspicious year in which Srimad Shankara Bhagavatpāda's 2500th Aradhana has been completed, starting from the very special occasion of Ashada Shukla Ekadashi, Budhanuradha Punyakala, on which our Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Mudamnaya Sarvagya Pithadipati, Jagadguru Shankaracharya Shri Shankara Vijayam Saraswati Swami completed his Kashi Rameshwaradi Tirtha Yatra by himself performing Abhisheka to Ramanatha Swami at Rameshwaram, with the prarthana of doing the anusandhana of all the original Shankara Charitra texts. We have started this prayatra, and right now we are examining the Anandagiriya Shankara Vijaya, which was composed by one Anandagiri, a direct disciple of Bhagavatpāda, and in which he describes in much detail the discussions had by Bhagavatpāda with the followers of various Avaidika matas, or matas which were in some form, not entirely maybe, but in some form against the Sanatana Vaidika Dharma as prescribed in the Vedas. So, right now we are examining the 11th Prakarana. So far, normally we expect that Upasana Paddhati, say in the world we have the Shanmata Upasana Paddhati, which is also again due to Bhagavatpāda himself. And there are also some other Upasana Paddhatis like the devotees of Ayyappa and so on. And in the Vedic karmas, in Shrauta Yagas, etc., they do give offerings to Indra and others also. But taking one of these devatas as the Paradevata and doing Upasana entirely dedicated to the Devata is not very often heard of in the case of the matas other than the aforementioned deities. So here actually so far we have seen the discussions of Bhagavatpāda with those who consider Shiva to be the Paradevata and those who consider Vishnu to be the Paradevata, and Bhagavatpāda indicated to all of them that no doubt they are also following some particular Veda mantras or verses. They are giving special importance to those verses, but they are also adding some more content of their own, saying that either you do not need to do any karmanushtana at all, and just by the grace of the Guru you will attain moksha and the Guru will recommend to Bhagavan. No doubt there is pramana in the Puranas, etc., that Guru will recommend to Bhagavan, but you have to do your karmanushtana. There is no excuse for that. Is what Bhagavatpāda has taught, and by the karmanushtana do aradhana to that Bhagavat Swarupa, and also do upasana bhakti towards that Bhagavat Swarupa, and in the end you should realize that you are yourself that Bhagavat Swarupa, that jnana anubhava, it should be reached, and that is what is going to give moksha, is what Bhagavatpāda has taught all these people so far. And we saw earlier how Bhagavatpāda traveled from places like Tiruvadai Maradur, Madhyarjuna Kshetra, and to Rameshwaram and so on. He came to Tiruvananthapuram, Anantasena Kshetram, and from that Anantasena Kshetra, Bhagavatpāda comes to Karnataka, what is known as Kukke Subramanya today. And let me read the text. Tadanantaram Ananta Shayanat Paschima Margena Panchadasha Bhihi Dinaihi Subramanian Nama Kumar Avirbhavasthalam Sakala Deshika Shishe Sevitaha Shri Shankaracharya Prapa. So Jagadguru Shankaracharya, Sakala Deshika, Jagadguru, he reached the kshetra called Subramanya, where the Avirbhava, the Sannidhya of Kumaraswamy, Subramanya Swami is very special. And through the western sea coast, Bhagavatpada, obviously, for he came from Tirunantapuram to that place. And Snatva Kumaradharayam Nadyam Shishya Samanvitaha Bhaktya Sampujayamasa Shanmukham Shesharupidam. After taking bath in the river Kumaradhara, which is very well known there, with Bhagavatpada along with his Shishyas, he worshipped the Subramanya Swami, Shanmukha Swami, who is there in the form of the Sarpa. And even recently, just around the near recent Kartika Shukla Shashti, our today's Jagadguru Kamakoti Shankaracharya also had darshan of Subramanya Swami at this particular kshetra. And here it goes to describe how Bhagavatpada was seen by the devotees there. Kashaya Vastra Dandadhyaha Kamandaluda Satkaraha Bhukti Bhuti Bhushita Sarvangaha Babhu Rudra Iva Swayam. And by wearing that Kashaya Vastra and carrying the Kamandalu, by wearing Bhasma all over his body, he appeared as if he was Shiva himself. And Naja Deshastha Viproghaha Subramanyam Samagataha Drishtvatam Shankaracharya Midamuchu Subismitaha. So, not only the devotees who came there for the Kshetra Darshana and by chance had a darshan of Bhagavatpada, there were apparently, by reading the further text, we learned that there were people who were doing Upasana of Brahma. Here it is said Hiranyagarbha Mata, and Hiranyagarbha is another name for Brahma. And the people following that Mata were prevalent in those areas in those days. From this we come to know. So they come to Bhagavatpada and they are very happy to see Bhagavatpada, in fact, and they speak to Bhagavatpada with very much cordiality. So let us see how it goes. Brahmana vayam brahmakulajaha kila manvadis mrityukta acharashilaha. So they say that we are following all the Smriti Prokta Acharyas and Karmanushtanas. So it is probable that they had heard of Bhagavatpada advising those people of the Shiva Mata, or I mean Shiva, who were following the various forms of Shivopasana and the various forms of Vishnupasana, who were saying that we do not need to follow Achara Anushtana and all that, but Bhagavatpada told them that if you are doing real devotion, you have to exhibit real devotion unto Vishnu. The Vedas are the Agnya of Vishnu or the Agnyas of Shiva as per your Upasya Devata. And so, to really please the Devata, you should perform the Vedokta Karmanushtanas because it is the Agnya of that Bhagavan. And so, possibly considering that, keeping that in mind, these people tell Bhagavatpada very clearly that we are following all the Acharya and Anushtanas. Hiranyagarbha Upasana Parilabdham Anasthiryaha. We have been doing Upasana of Hiranyagarbha Brahma, and so we have attained the stillness of mind. Sarvam Brahma Nirmitam Jagat iti Brahmana eva Srishti Sthiti Laya Kartrutvam Nishchitya Vasamaha. So Sarvam Brahma Nirmitam Jagat. So in Sanskrita, we can say that it was the world entirely was created by Brahman or by Brahma, because the Pratipadika, the noun root in Sanskrita is Brahman. But if it is in Napumsakalinga, in neuter gender, it means Brahma Vastu, that supreme being, not referring to Brahma with four heads. But if the same word is used in masculine gender, it denotes the God with four heads. So, Brahma Nirmita. In the Samasa, there is no difference between the Pullinga and the Napumsakalinga Rupa. So, how to take this word Brahma Nirmitam? Is it Brahma, even Brahmana Nirmitam in Sanskrita, the Vigraha Vakya does not show any difference. But in English, we can say, or in any other language, you can say, or that created by Brahman or by Brahma. So that the difference in meaning intended is as clear as explained before. So they quote this particular Veda mantra, and as we have seen earlier also, each follower of each mata quotes some Veda mantra in support of his own view. So they quote the Veda mantra which say that Hiranyagarbha was the one who was manifest at the beginning or the creation of this world, and he was the single adhipati of all the bhutas, or the Panchamahabhutas. And he bears the earth, he bears the skies, the heavens, and the fourth pada, it is explained in multiple ways. So the word is Kasmai Devaya Havisha. So here, one explanation is that it is actually the word ekasmai, and the syllable a has been lost. Lopa has happened, and in Veda, some passages do contain such lopas. So, this is one Vyakhana saying that to that one single God, Brahma, we offer this oblation, this habis. That is one Vyakhana. Another Vyakhana, actually, without this a, the bare meaning of the word kasmai is to whom. It is a questioning word. But the second opinion says that it is not really a questioning word here. In the Veda, the word ka also is used to refer to Brahma specifically. So, and that Chaturthi Vibhakti of that word is Kasmai. So, we can say that by Kasmai Deva, it means I offer this service to Brahma only. And the fourth, yet another meaning, the third meaning, it says, other than that Brahma. So, here this third Vyakhana actually takes that word kasmai as a questioning word, as it is commonly seen in the world. So that Vyakhana says, other than this Brahma, to whom are we going to offer oblation? So either way, the Tatparya is that this mantra is denoting Brahma only. And further, the passages, as we mentioned earlier in this Anandagiri Shankara Vijayam also, he who created the world entered the world is what has been clarified, clearly explained or indicated before. So, as proof of Advaita, he who created entered it and is present inside this world also. So, who created it? We very well know that Brahma is the creator. So Brahma is the creator, he created the world. If he has then entered the world, it means that Brahma is the Sarvavyapi Paramatma. So all the Vedas are indicating this Brahma, Hiranyagarbha only, and we so believe that Brahma is the greatest. And yet another very new thing we have to examine in what Purana it is mentioned this way. It says that from the right hand, Tasya Dakshana Vama Bahubhyam Vishnu Rudra Utpatti Darshanach, from the right shoulder of Brahma, Vishnu came, and from the left shoulder of Brahma, Shiva came. See what is surprising here. Whatever Shiva Puranas are there, they will say that from Shiva only Vishnu and Brahma were born. And whatever Vishnu Puranas are there, they will say that from Vishnu only Brahma and Shiva were born. So what is surprising, if there is another Brahmapura Purana, and he says that Brahma is the greatest Devata, and from Brahma only Vishnu, Shiva are also born. For the Advaiti, there is absolutely no problem here at all, because they are all forms of the single Paramatma. Anyway, so these people say that they quote those particular verses. They based on those particular verses, they say that from Brahma only Shiva and Vishnu were born. And they say, therefore, what is their conclusion? They say that because we are devotees of that Brahma, just like earlier we have seen that the Vishnu devotees were advocating the usage of the Shankha Chakradi Chinhas in the body, and the Shiva devotees were indicating the usage of the Trishula, etc., and other symbols in the body. And the devotees of Brahma were saying that Tathambandhi Kamandalu Kurchadi Chinhitaha. So you should wear the symbols of Brahma. What are the symbols of Brahma? He is handling a Kamandalo, and he is the Vaidika Devata of all Vaidika Karmanushthanas. So Kurcha and all the other upakaranas which are used in Vaidika Shrauta karmas, they are all his chinhas. So Kramat, and here we see that lots of scholars have come here who are following that Brahma Mata, and lots of their names are given here. They very clearly say that we accept both Karma Marga and Jnana Marga, and they introduce their own names. A lot of very special names are here. We know that the word Vidhi actually it means Brahma, because he is the one who Vidadhati, who creates the world. and that is why he Brahma is called Vidhi. And also Veda Vidhi, the instructions of the Veda, they are also important for those who are extolling the Karmanushtana. So lots of people by that name, Jagad Vidhi, Homa Vidhi, Karma Vidhi, Vipra Vidhi, and one person even by name by Shuddha Brahma, and lots of Kamandalu Kirti, Yaga Kurcha, Brahma Vedi. All these are symbols related to Vedika Karmanushtanas. Brihat Kukshi, and he later on this will be discussed in some more detail. Vimata Vidhi, Veda Pani, Nigama Sutra, lots of names based on the names of the Veda. One who has Veda in his hand, Nigama Sutra, Nigama, Shruti Parina, Shruti is also another word for Veda, Nigama Muni, Swadhyaya Dharma, he who by all his four heads, he keeps doing Veda Parayana, Swadhyaya Parayana always, and Brahma Karma, Veda Karma, Muni Karma, Yuga Pitamaha, Guru Parameshthi, Dija Pitamahadaya, lots of names, and even further on. Bhayam Bhagavantam Bhavantam Jatimiksha Kritartha Smaha. So they are greeting Bhagavatpada with special cordiality. Why? And so they are very, they are taking up a very Swadhina attitude towards Bhagavatpada. They say, Kinchid Asmabhir Vigyapitam Avatharya. So you can please listen to something that we have to tell you. What is that? Kim Advaita Prayojanam. What is the use of this Advaita that you are talking about? So don't unnecessarily spend your time on it. The Upadesh of these devotees towards Bhagavatpada. So, Prathama Jiva, Hiranyagarbhat, Sarve Jiva Jataha. Hiranyagarbha was the one who was there at the beginning, and all the other Jivas were born from him only. And this Brahma, Prabhur Brahma, Laye Etan Sarvan Sambhutan, Brahmandati, Itare Svodare Niveshya, Swayameka Eva Vartate. What will happen during Pralaya? The same Brahma who created the world, he will take all these things which are there in the world and he will put them inside his great kukshi. A literal meaning is stomach, but within his form is what we have to understand. So he will put them all inside, and at the end, after Pralaya, he will himself remain alone. Swayam ekeva vartate srishtau punasthan swasya karma gaulasthan nija prakritya sanjojya dhanma marana pravaha sakta nakarot. So when Srishti has to be done, he takes them out, and he those who are bound by their own karmas, those people, he takes them out and he creates them, he puts them subject to Maya, and he makes them go and enter the Pravaha, the continuous flow of Janma and Marana, the births and deaths. So, iti Madguru Bhirupadishtaha Paramartha. This is a special attitude. Whatever my Guru, everybody will claim somebody as their Guru, and they will say that what my Guru has said is correct. Brahma Kukshi Praptikale Moksheva. So one person by name Brihat Kukshi was there, who is also based on this only. Once we attain that we enter that stomach of Brahma, that Swarupa of Brahma, then we will attain moksha. How do you know that? Because the Shruti Vakya says, he who is Brahmavit will attain the Parama Purushartha. So, but what is the meaning of Brahmavit? He takes to mean that word, he takes that word to mean that, again, Brahma Vetti iti Brahmavit, Brahmanam Vetti iti Brahmavit. So he takes as per his own convenience, he says that this word means one who knows Brahma. So iti Shrutya Chaturmukha Surupajnarena Tadmantra Upasanena cha Brahmavit Brahmaswarupajnaha Param Moksham Avapnoti. So by doing Upasana of this Chaturmukha Brahma and doing his mantra, one will learn what is the Swarupa of that Brahma, and they will attain moksha. So Brahma Loke, Vishnu Rudradi Deva Gochare. He will go to Brahmaloka, in which Vishnu, Rudra and other devatas are there. Chaturmukha Kamandalu Kurchadi Chinhadharaha. Even going to that Brahmaloka, he will be wearing all these symbols. Mukta Kridati. So freely he will be very happy. Tasmat. So Bhavan Kamandalu Dandapanihi Brahmaloka Loka Yogya Evo. Oh, Shankaracharya Swami, you are having a Kamandalu in your hand, and you are having a Danda in your hand, you are carrying. So these are all symbols of our Brahma only. So you are definitely qualified to attain that Brahmaloka. Madiya Sneha, especially because I am showing how much affection towards you. What confidence. They come and do Vadesha to Bhagavatpāda. So, a very cordial manner. Visheshato bhavati iti hairanyagarbhairuktaha Sri Paramaguruhu Shri Shankaracharyaha pathati. So far, the word pathati has not come. This is something special here. Probably Bhagavatpāda might have laughed within himself. Acho, these people are with so much uh, concern for me. They are coming and advising me that I should not spend my time on Advaita, and just because I am carrying Kamandalu, I will attain Brahmaloka. Very nice. But Bhagavad Pada teaches them. Okay, Ji, you are saying that one who is Brahmavit will attain the Paramapurushartha. So we have to ascertain what is the meaning of that word Brahma there. Brahmavit. So is it Brahmanam Vetti Brahmavit or Brahma Vetti Brahmavit, one who knows Brahman or one who knows Brahma? So let us examine the context. Lots of problems are created by taking the Shruti out of the context. Shruti or in many other Vakyas. So let us examine the context. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, the previous aforementioned sentence is there, and immediately after, just two sentences after this, is the explanation of what is meant by Brahman, Brahma, Napumsakalingam, neutral gender. It is not used in the masculine gender. So that explanation, what is given there is that that which is truth. What is truth? That which does not change. That is truth. Because the truth is, by definition, something which should not change. So, sarva vika satyam, sarva vikara vilakshanam, that which will not attain vikara. And so, okay, then in which case I can say that what will not attain vikara? It is like a big stone which never changes despite all that rain and sunshine which is falling on it. The rock never changes. So, we can say that Brahma Vastu is also like that jadam. But that is not acceptable. So it is said jnanam, not only satyam, but also jnanam, because it is of the nature of consciousness. And we cannot say that it is just an absence of all things. Because even consciousness is there. It is not an absence, it is present. And further, Anantam. Anantam means deshataha, kalataha, vastutascha paricheda shunyam. So it's something which should be there in any desha, any place, and any kala, any time, and it should be omnipresent, permeating everything that is there. There should be no such place or time or vastu in which that Brahman is not there. Then that is called Ananta. So this is the meaning of this Shruti Vakya, and these are all Mahavakyas. There is no such thing as there are 4 Vedas or 4 Shruti Vakyas, only one per Veda. Lots of Vedas, Vakyas are there. Whatever Vakya is Jiva Brahma Abheda Bodhaka, that is a Mahavakya. And there are so many such Mahavakyas, and here in this Taittiriya Upanishad, this is one such Mahavakya. It denotes, through the word Ananta, it denotes that there is no separate Brahma, Jiva from Brahman, even though there is no direct reference to Jiva here. But it also goes to that same goal only. Anyway, and there is also one Ashtottara Shata Mahavakya Kadambaka. So, lots of Mahavakyas are there. So, that in this Upanishad, this is the Mahavakya, and what does it say? That you have to understand. It comes to say the meaning of the word Brahman, and it does not indicate anything that says that it is the 4-headed Brahma. That is the point here, because the other fellow is insisting on that 4-headed Brahma. So Acharya says that no, that is not what is there in the Shruti. You please examine. And further, the word Jnana and Ananta. Another swarasya of the same. See, in the world we say that I have jnana in aham mama vede jnanamasti, mama shastre jnanamasti. I know this, I know that. That knowledge is termed by the word jnana in Laukika parlance. But that jnana, see, even if you know a particular Veda Shakha, because somebody may say that I know the Vedas, that there are four. So that is a very limited form of Veda Jnana. It is also a Jnana about the Veda. And I know the Veda, maybe somebody has studied one Veda Shakha, and somebody may say that even Bharadwaja, there is a story in the Veda itself in which he was spending lifetime upon lifetime for studying all the Veda Shakas that are there. And in the end, Indra took pity upon him and he came and said, "Oh Bharadwaja, you please don't waste your time like this. It is not possible for you to study all the Veda Shakas. Hmm? And whatever we have learnt is just like the fistful of earth. And whatever we have not learnt is like a mountain," or he shows three mountains there in the story in the Veda. Anyway, so or whatever jnana, in whatever subject you may have, that jnana is limited. So if you have to attain unlimited jnana, then it has to be jnanam, it has to be anantam. So all the words are necessary here, and by the understanding of the meaning of the import of these words, you can see that Brahmavastu is akhanda eka rasa, is the indivisible eka rasa, the single ananda swarupa. That is the nature of that Brahmavastu, and that is what whoever who seeks moksha, sarva mumukshubhi upasaniyam. So that Brahmavastu, Brahman, is what has to be worshipped by all the mumukshus. And whatever Brahma that you say, he is also subject to that Maya only. And by doing upasana of him, you cannot get directly moksha, because he also has his own limitations in what phala that he can give. So as per the Shruti Vakya, which were examined, which was presented by the Purvapakshi, or in the same Prakarana as the Purvapakshi, we see that the word Brahman refers to the Paramatma Tattva only. And here there is a small discussion here, which asks, it is actually from the Brahma Sutra, first Adhyaya, first Pada, the very beginning. So it asks whether there is any meaning to trying to do vichara of this Brahmavastu. Because you say that Brahma, his upasana will give only a limited level of phala. Okay. But first of all, you are Brahman. It is not possible to do upasana at all. How come? It will be explained further on. Because it is the objection is that Brahmavastu, only if that vichara has any substance, then that vichara can be done. And only if the vichara has any prayojana, it should have a vishaya or substance, and it should have a prayojana or a utility. And only then there is a point in spending time or starting an entire shastra, that is Uttara Mimamsa Vedanta Shastra, for the purpose of doing that Brahma vichara. So, first of all, he says that, Acharya clarifies, there is a Shruti Vakya which says that vichara has to be done. So vichara has to be done. It is said in the Shruti itself. It says that to see that Paramatma Tattva, to see that Paramatma Tattva, first you should listen. What should you listen to? To the Upadeshas of Shruti and to the Upadeshas of Mahatma, who are again going to base their words on Shruti only. So listen first, think, do manana, keep thinking. Don't just sit as if it is, oh, somebody gave a lecture and then they went. You have to think, what did he say? What was the content of his lecture? So similarly, whatever shravana, the upadesha that you have received from elders with the sadhana of Shruti, that you have to think about. And then you have to meditate on it until you realize that it is of your own form. So this is what that Shruti Vakya says. And so, if by after listening, you have to think over it, you have to think and you have to consider. Because just by listening to the Veda Vakyas, it is not possible for us to arrive at a concluded Nishchaya. Because it appears some of the Shruti Vakyas we are not able to understand at all, and some of the Shruti Vakyas appear to be in conflict with other Shruti Vakyas. So, what are we going to do? So, then the discussion is that whether this Paramatma Vastu, that Brahma Vastu, it is fit to be. Okay, you say that Shruti says that you have to vichara, that much you have proven, no problem. But you have to show how that vichara can be done. Just because Shruti says, if it is not possible to do it practically, if Shruti tells you to fly, is it possible for you to fly? So if you see such a sentence, then you have to understand it in a different way. So then the Siddhanta, he goes on to say that yes, there is meaning in doing that Shastra, because there is Vishaya, there is substance to the Vichara, and there is Prayojana, there is utility to the Vichara. How come? How is there, first of all, substance? Is there any doubt? Does anybody have a doubt whether I am Brahman or not? Am I Brahman? Does anybody have a doubt? So why should we, how can we say that there is a Prayojana, or there is any meaning to that Vichara? So Acharya clarifies, Shruti aham pratyayayoho pratipatya sandigdham vastu brahmatmakam asti. So what does the Shruti say? The Shruti says that Brahma Vastu is such of such a Swarupa, it is Sarvagya, Sarvashakta, and so on. And that Brahma Vastu is not something else, it is you. But even in an earlier prakarana, before Bhagavatpāda Sannyasa, when he was doing Advaita Upadesha itself, that Shishya says, Katham Guru Sukha Dukkha Bhajo Me Chaitanyata. He asks, I am feeling all these Sukha Dukkha's. How is it possible that I am only Chaitanya Swarupa? So that is the conflict. There is a conflict, there is a doubt. The doubt is arising because Shruti describes something called Brahma Swarupa. Nobody is asking, I have a doubt, am I Brahma Swarupa or not? That is not the nature of the doubt. The nature of the doubt is because the Shruti says that there is such a Brahma Vastu and you are that Brahma Vastu. But your own experience is something that is different. So what does the Shruti say? The Shruti says that many Mahavakyas are there. It says that Asangam Brahma Atmatvena Upadeshati, that which is not attached to anything, that Brahma Vastu is this Atma Swarupa, is what Shruti says. But what does the my own experience, what does it say? So you can see that just because Veda says you have to shake your head and you have accepted, there's no point in it. He will simply shake his head, but it will not go inside and it will not soak into him. So he will not really accept it. He says, yes, Veda says like this, but somehow I'm not satisfied. So what is the point? So there is no point in just shaking your head and artificially accepting. So you have to realize that it is true. Then there is meaning. So he is examining it with whether it is as per his own experience, that sadhaka. He thinks that, okay, my own experience of what I am, I feel that I am a human body. I don't say I have a human body, I am a human, which is something that is with reference to the body only. Aham manushya ityadya aham buddhi dehadi tadatnya adhyasena atmanam grinhati. So this Shruti Vakya, this experience which we have in this world, it shows that we are of the form of this physical human body. So there is a conflict, obvious conflict between what Shruti says is my form and what I experience is my form. So because of this, there is a doubt whether the Shruti is wrong or my experience is wrong, and so on. So there is a point, there is substance to the vichara, there is some meaning to the vichara, and therefore there is prayojana also, there is an outcome also, because once you have a doubt, the clarification of the doubt, and through that you will attain mukti, and that is the prayojana of this Brahma vichara. And further, not only is it advised by the such a, how can we attain such a state, that realizing that what is said by Shruti is true, not only by Shruti, Vidvat Anubhavena, those Vidwans here mean the realized souls like Sadashiva Brahmendra. It's not there that way in the text, it's I'm explaining that way. And those realized souls do experience that Paramatma Vastu that way. Tasmat Vedanta Vakya Vichara Mukhena Brahmano Vichararhatvat Shastram Arambhaniyaviti Siddhantaha. So there is meaning in examining the Shruti Vakyas because they appear to be conflicting with other Pramanas, either my own experience or other Shruti Vakyas and so on. So Vicharastu Lakshana Pramanabhyam Vastu Tattva Nirnayapathikaha. So the final conclusion of the Vichara is by the Lakshana and by the Pramana, whatever the definition of that Brahma Vastu is, and by also tallying with the other Pramanas that we, sources of knowledge that we have, you have to realize, to decide upon what is the true nature of that Paramatma Vastu. So, and after that Nirnaya, you have to slowly realize that that is my own Swarupa. And that is the fruit of all this. And of course, that Parama Vastu, it is itself is manifest in the form of this Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, and so on by the Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. And so the Brahma, Vishnu, Rudras are through Parabrahman. They are, and we say that Brahma is the creator, and Vishnu is the protector, and Rudra is the person who dissolves the world, and so on. So all this is, it has Shastradhara. So by doing upasana of all these rupas, Brahma, Vishnu or Shiva, there is some fruit is there, no doubt about it. But it is not possible to say that by doing upasana of Brahma itself, or Brahma itself, by disregarding the original source Vastu of Brahma, you cannot say that Brahma only is the Parama Vastu, because in Shvetashvatara Upanishad it very clearly says, he who initially created Brahma. See, he, Yaha, it is a Pullinga word, and even in Aitareya Upanishad there is a word which is in Pullinga. But just because of that, we cannot say that that Vastu is of the nature of a male or a four-headed god, because we have to see any such pramanas which clearly show that it is about the four-headed god. Otherwise, in Samskrita, all the words carry their own gender, grammatical gender. We have Shriman Narayano Devata. The word Devata is in feminine gender. Just because of that, we do not change the name of the gender of the word Shriman Narayana, which has its own gender, that is masculine gender. So, like that, the word Saha in that Aitareya Shruti Vakya, it can refer to Paramatma in general. It does not mean that it is four-headed Brahma. So, here this particular Shruti Vakya clearly says that that Paramatma initially created Brahma, and he gave the knowledge of the Vedas to that Brahma. In Bhagavata it is very clearly said, Tene Brahma Hrida Ya Adikavaye. And so that Deva who is shining in my own intellect, that Deva I seek refuge in, because I want to attain salvation or moksha. And this is the nature of the Paramatma Tattva, which is beyond that Brahma. He who created Brahma, it is very clearly said there. So that Moola Tattva is what we have to target. And so whatever, that is why in that very mantra which you quoted, my friend, it has the word Jataha, he who was born, that Brahma. He was born from his core form of that Satyam Jnanam, that Brahma. So, whatever, if you have the Shruti Vakyas or Pramana Vakyas for doing the Upasana of Chaturmukha Brahma, by all means you can do that. But that Upasana is Bheda Ghatita. There is Dvaita, the difference between the meditator and the meditated in that dhyana also. So it is also in the stage of Dvaita only, and so it cannot give the Advaita Purushartha, because Veda clearly says, even if you do a small difference, if you see a small difference between yourself and anything else, and from that you will become afraid. You will become afraid that whether it will do something good for you or it will do something bad to you. If it is going to do good for you, then you would start deciding that it should stay along with you, should not leave you. And if you leave, if it leaves, see, in Bhakti Sampradaya, they say that Gopikas are a very high form of, they are the epitome of devotion, no doubt. But even the Gopikas, because if they saw Krishna as their own Swarupa, they would not worry that Krishna has left them. And they say that all that Viraha and Viraha itself develops Bhakti and so on. Yes, there are lots of stages of Bhakti, no doubt. But when so long as they are seeing Krishna as somebody other than themselves, then they would have to worry about Krishna leaving them. They realize that Krishna is their own Swarupa, they are not going to worry about that. So it is very clear. And so whatever small difference that you see, it is going to stop you from understanding the real truth. Therefore, all these Upadeshas which is taught by the Acharya, and here the Veda itself is the Acharya, you are that Brahmaswarupa, and I am that Brahmaswarupa. The realization from that Upadesha, all this will teach you that Jiva Brahmanor Bhedam Parityajya Deshikokta Margena. The Veda itself is the teacher, and the teacher who teaches based on the Veda, he shows how there is, you should not see any difference between the Jiva and the Brahman. And so again, if it is Jiva and Brahma, then there will definitely be Bheda. You can never claim that Jiva and Brahma are non-different or one and the same, but you can show that Jiva and Parabrahman are one and the same. So, Abheda Bhavanaya Mukta Bhavatha. So, you should all realize that you take up that Advaita Abheda Bhavana and attain thereby moksha. Ityacharyena bodhitaste hiranyagarbha matavadinaha jagadvithi pramukhaha brahmanaha om tatha itukta acharyam natva tatha chakruhu. So, all those people, Jagadvithi and others, though they were following that hiranyagarbha mata, they realized the truth of Bhagavatpada's Upadesha, so they bowed to him and did that way likewise. So, Anandagiri Kritau Ekadasham Prakaranam. So, in the next Prakarana, we will be seeing how the Upasakas of Agni they discussed with Bhagavatpada, and with this we close this session. Sarvavyapaka Chaitanya Rupena Adyapi Tishtati Sayeva Shankaracharyo Gurur Mukti Pradasatam. Hara Hara Shankara, Jai Jai Shankara.